ever. 133-92 was the final against the Clippers. That's Ty Lue there in the assistant coach. Who's that? Doc Rivers is the main dude there?
Yeah.
And he was with the Celtics for a long time?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, bad night at the Romo Fijo yesterday. Was it a home? Yeah, home game.
It was home game.
Biggest loss in home game. If you listen to the show on iHeartRadio, if you're a podcast listener and can't listen live, or you do listen live and can't call us or whatever but want to, you can always use the Alan Cox Show After Hours line and leave a message for us. I always go through them. Some of them get on the air. That is 216-986-8903. And if you listen to the podcast outside of Ohio, tell me where. And we'll make sure you're on the map of Bureau Chiefs. You can see behind Bill if you watch the live stream. Bryce listens in Sarasota, Florida.
Gulf side.
Matt is in Florence, Arizona.
Probably golf there, too.
Emily is in Melbourne, Florida.
I don't know
Somewhere
where
in
that is.
Florida.
Don't know where that one is.
Probably somewhere on the shaft, Bill. I think it's on the shaft. And
Florida's getting bigger.
many, many more there. Corey is in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Didn't he call us the other day? Corey in Tarpon Springs. Rush Limbaugh fans are freaking out because he was unexpectedly not on the air today. He finally made it back to his show on Friday, and then he was back off today, being hospitalized with the flu. And, of course, they're quick to say it's got nothing to do with his recent lung cancer diagnosis.
But that could make him all weak.
Listen, given the preponderance of conspiracy theorists in that office, I doubt anyone's taking it at face value. If history is any guide, not taking it at face value that has nothing to do with one, has nothing to do with the other, but whatever. I was reading about a teacher in Milwaukee, by the way, who got fired because he was talking about how awesome it is that Rush Limbaugh got cancer. I'm always curious what, I try to be a little bit sensitive when it comes to teachers because it's like any other group of people in any other profession. There are a lot of good ones, there are a lot of awful ones, and then most people are somewhere in the middle. So I don't want to cast aspersions, obviously, at an entire group of people, but there are a lot of these people that make the news. I'm like, I feel like you're missing something. Like you're not doing. You got a lot of free time, boy, at school, or you're not connecting with your students in a way that is going to keep you gainfully employed. I think if I was a teacher, for all of the strikes and all the teachers that you hear complaining about working conditions and they don't get paid enough, I would think if I was a teacher, I would be hanging on to my job for grim death. I would be hanging on. I wouldn't do anything to put any untoward spotlight on myself. Travis Sarandos is an English teacher at the Milwaukee High School of the Arts. Probably figured he was in a safe space to go off on Rush Limbaugh. But still.
Is that just like a kid tattled?
Well, he tweeted something. But of course your students are going to talk about it. I mean, if they're, because nothing's cooler than following your teacher on Twitter.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. He said Rush Limbaugh absolutely should have to suffer from cancer. He was responding to someone else's tweet. Somebody said, well, maybe Rush Limbaugh will recover and begin advocating for health care reforms.
Yeah.
Obviously, that wouldn't happen because he's a wealthy guy, doesn't need to advocate for health care reforms.
One of the reasons
the guy was a drug addict and got off because he's wealthy. And
I don't like when people do that and say, like, oh, I'm glad he's got to suffer through that, because it could
be you tomorrow, man.
Exactly. And there's a lot of people that have cancer and they have to go through that, and no one deserves it. It doesn't matter. So when you say, oh, there could have been someone in his classroom, one of his students had a family member that had to go through that. And so when you say, oh, Rush Limbaugh deserves to suffer through this, does that kid start thinking, well,
does my mom deserve it?
Is that how it works?
No,
you get cancer because you deserve it? It's not weird. It's not okay.
Listen, good people get cancer and awful people get cancer.
No discrimination.
And just because Rush Limbaugh is largely an awful person doesn't mean that he should have to die from cancer. But this guy tweeted the opposite of that. It's awesome that he's dying, and hopefully it is as quick as it is painful.
Jeez.
Is what the guy tweeted.
Here's my thing. This is what, and I understand words can hurt. People can say dumb things. But that teacher's never met Rush Limbaugh. Like, to have such horrible...
Well, you don't have to.
I
mean, when
get
somebody
it.
tells you
But
who
what
they
I'm
are,
saying-
you believe
But how
them,
do you know
right?
he's a horrible person?
But what I'm saying is that to take that much of a stance against, you deserve to die painfully from cancer. That's what, like, how can you feel so strongly against somebody that you...
Well, there's a difference between thinking that and saying it on social media or out loud to your kids. I'm sure there are
Right.
plenty of people who think Rush Limbaugh has made a career out of being openly racist and sexist
Yeah.
and misogynistic.
I'm not sticking up for
he's
him by
made
any
a
means,
very
but-
good living
Yeah.
off all of those things. And there's no reason to not believe him when he tells you what he believes. I don't think,
He's not making it up.
part of doing this job, doing talk radio, yeah, you're an entertainer, and a lot of those people that have fringe ideas like to, they like to play both sides of the fence. When people get upset, they go, "I'm just a guy on the radio." But then on the other side of that coin, those people have real influence. So, yes, has that guy made a career off of saying awful things and being awful to marginalize groups of people? Absolutely. It's got nothing to do with hoping that the guy dies of cancer. And so this Milwaukee school district has let this teacher go or suspended them without pay or blah, blah, blah.
I think one of the most interesting aspects of Milwaukee is the fact that it's the only major American city to have ever elected 3 socialist mayors.
Does this guy know how to party or what?
Right. Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, which means the good land.
Listen, I grew up down the road from Milwaukee, and I learned more about that city from Alice Cooper in Wayne's World than I ever did paying attention to whatever was going on in that town.
Also, I always get confused by people that, like, if this were someone else, like if this were someone that this teacher enjoyed and someone from the right said something about them, like if it's, say it's, I don't know, who's Bill Maher, we'll say. It's Bill Maher, and this teacher is a big fan of Bill Maher, and then someone says something like, "Oh, Bill Maher deserves to get cancer," he'd freak and be like, "That's not okay to say about him." And I just don't understand why people don't have that mindset when it comes to like being the bigger person or being the better person.
Well, no, I feel like people don't put themselves in this situation. They don't think of it as, what if this was someone I cared about? They're like, I hate you. That is the end of it.
And so everybody else, because I hate you, everyone else should.
Because I hate you and you've offended me, that means that your family doesn't love you, and you know what I mean? Like, they just assume that you're unworthy of everything.
Or you're a gnat swatting at an elephant. I mean, there's a lot of people that are like, here's a guy with a massive platform to say whatever he wants, and if I send out a tweet, who's going to pay attention to that? But if you're a teacher, and the school, if they're doing their diligence, is probably keeping an eye on employees' social media accounts, or a student's going to ratch out or something.
Yeah,
Who
I thought he
knows?
said it to his students, like out loud.
Yeah.
Initially, I think that's what the report was, but then
Yeah.
it was, but your students are going to be talking about it. And, quite frankly, if you're teaching English to some high school kids, most of them are going to go, "Who the hell is Rush Limbaugh?"
Right.
So, yeah, you may have a real problem with it, but these kids you're talking to. Hey, Rick.
Yes, sir, Mr. Allen.
What's going on, Rick? How are you?
I'm doing fine. I want to speak to everybody around the table. Hello, Bill.
Listen,
Hey, what's up,
we're
Rick?
all
All
here.
right. Miss Mary.
Hello.
Okay. Now, I want your opinion too, Alan. Okay, we just, the Cavs just got drummer, right?
Yeah.
One let us shake up. That's the worst we lost at home.
Oh, Andre Drummond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, they got a drummer. Yeah, okay.
It caps 2
Andre Drummond. Yes,
Right,
they
you know
lost. It
what
was a
I'm
huge,
talking about.
huge home loss, Rick.
Well, it supposed to be a celebration, but it was like the worst they lost in our franchise.
Yes, but they were playing a very, very good team. They didn't have their best player playing yesterday. But, it takes a while to gel sometimes. I'm not worried. I think it's a good fit still.
But Bill, Bill, we didn't talk about this often, Bill. I mean, on straight. We trade too fast.
We traded nothing for him, though. We got a great deal out of this. And also, it's always darkest before the dawn, right?
Right. That's right, Bill.
There you go.
So, but I hope Well, I'm going to say the drummer is drumming. Welcome to the losers.
He was already on a losing team.
Right, so, but one person don't win a game, okay? We got the poor that go with the Browns, the Indians, because you got a superstar, but that superstar need help, too. You know what I'm saying, Bill?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, okay. So I just want to put my smoke on that, talk about that. You Bill the sports guy. That's why I call you Bill the sports guy.
I appreciate that, Rick.
All right, I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, stick and move, bud.
Sports.
Forget Marcel and Mary Mondays. I want the Bill and Rick Sports Podcast.
Yes.
Yep.
Make it happen.
That's right.
What would you call it? That's it? Bill and Rick Sports Podcast?
Rick and Move.
Rick and Move.
Sticks and Moves
Okay.
with Bill and Rick.
I love it.
Yes. It's all coming together now, right?
Yeah.
The Alan Cox Show family of podcasts,
Okay.
right? Brought to you by the Alan Cox Show. Marcel and Mary Mondays.
Yes.
Rick and Move with Bill Squire. Whatever the hell Poundcake's going to do, right? I can all see it forming. All of it materializing under the umbrella.
What if Poundcake ends up loving Liz Carolina Reaper Pepper and then does a podcast about, like, hot peppers?
He might.
Hey,
It could be that he's like, I found my new passion for spicy things.
That Dopey Hot Ones guy, you know, he'd been doing that
got
thing
a TV
for
show now.
Well, yeah, he'd been doing that thing for a while. Nobody paid attention. I don't know what blew that thing up.
It was when he started having comics on. Because he was having rappers on, and they weren't giving him very good reactions, but then he started having comics on, and they would go crazy.
They know how to play it up.
And, yeah, they play it up more.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
he's
when it
getting like
started blowing
legit
up.
celebrities on.
I know,
there. Yeah.
but I'm talking like probably 5 or 6 years ago, he started having comics on.
Okay.
And then it moved into being like a legit interview show.
Stripper Scott was kind enough to text me and say, I can't remember if I ever told Bill, but one of my regulars is good friends with Kendra Sunderland.
Oh, neat.
So they're neat. Oh, boy.
Fantastic.
There you
Well,
go.
Just a fun fact.
Bill rewatched
Six-
that clip in the break.
Did
we
he?
were eating pizza and
Need to see it.
watching him get all googly-eyed
Gush
over
over
a
her.
girl with blonde hair and big boobs.
Listen, if you're going to get all
Huge.
googly-eyed over someone, if somebody goes, what you look like, you said blonde hair and big boobs, nobody's going to go, what? Maybe Marcel would. What?
She's like talking about her cam girl stuff, and he's like, yeah, that's just like an innovative idea. That's just, I
It
can
is,
really see
'cause it-
how that's going to blow up for you. And you're just going to be so like this guy.
She's
Come on.
very
Mary,
successful.
it's called showbiz,
I
all right?
didn't
He's trying to put some showbiz into it.
Is that what he's trying
Not
to put
all
in?
trying to put into it,
Yeah.
Somebody else is suggesting the podcast be called Rick and Sporty.
Hey.
Rick and Sporty.
There
Rick,
it is.
Ricks and Bill, maybe?
Yeah,
Ricks and Bill.
Ricks and Bill.
I like Rick and Sporty.
Okay. There you go.
That's pretty funny.
Uh-huh. Try to get him to, at the end of each week, you try to get him to say Szechuan sauce. Mm-hmm. Rick and Sporty. With
I mean,
Bill
I already
Squire.
do have a podcast, Flicks and Bill, which you can check out on the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you get apps.
Podcast.
Podcast.
Your Apple
you get
store.
apps.
Type
Anywhere
in
you
Flicks
get
and Bill.
apps. I know.
Yeah, Applebee's. Wherever you prefer to get your apps.
That's right.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
That's right. Wherever
and
you
desserts.
get your apps.
I need about 10,000 more of you guys to listen to it.
Or 5,000 people to listen to it twice.
There you
Hey,
go.
there you
That would
go.
work.
Realistic goals, Bill.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Uh-huh. And by the way, you're welcome, other podcasters, for us promoting your work.
Well, I have
Yeah.
to promote it on here, and I do it on social media. They'll run ads for, like, I did a little looking around on the other podcasts that are out of our cluster. Flicks and Bill, way above everything else. And they're running
Are you
ads for other ones.
content-wise?
No. As
Or
far
like
as listenership,
listener-wise.
yeah, for show
Yeah,
podcasts.
listener-wise.
Yeah.
Like, way,
Where's your ad?
way. That's what I'm wondering.
Because he doesn't.
Preview us.
Because he doesn't need one.
Give us an ad right now, Bill. If iHeart were to come to you today and be like, hey, we looked at your numbers, cut us a spot, let's get a little preview of the Flicks and Bill official iHeartRadio ad.
Bill Wills here. for Flicks and Bill. I'm not the Bill on Flicks and Bill. It's Bill Squire, the comedian, and this week he's talking about the movie 1917 with his good friend James Douglas. So check it out, and also enjoy the intro segment where he talks with his friend Marty about how he will finally get a wife and then have a child and then not raise the child. It's Flicks and Bill on the iHeartRadio app.
I like it. So the format now is you and Marty have a little dialogue, and then you get into the thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been
And
doing
the
it like that
dialogue
for
is
about
unrelated.
about half the episodes have Marty on it now.
Okay.
And it's just, he's my favorite. He's so funny and weird. He's so strange.
He's quirky.
He's very quirky, and it's so funny because he's talking. He's always got like a scheme. So like he wants to have a kid, and I'm like, well, you're gonna have a kid. He's like, yeah, but I'm not gonna raise it. I'm like,
How old is he?
54, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he better get to getting.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
better find a willing recipient pretty soon. All right, good. Well, listen, I think we'll pull that off of the tape, Bill, and that'll be the ad
There you go.
for Flicks and Bill.
Didn't
You
Bill
doing
Wills
Bill
die?
Wills talking. Huh?
Billy Mays. Who died?
Billy Mays did die. Yeah, for sticky tape or whatever. Or
OxyClean.
all the crap.
Sticky tape.
Right? It's the stuff
Is
you
there a
put.
tape that isn't sticky?
No, it's you put,
Oxyflex or
no, you put it Flex Seal. You
Flex
put
Seal.
it, you put
yeah.
it on a
Flex
boat.
That's a different guy.
Seal.
That's a different guy.
I know, but he took over for Billy Mays.
Okay.
I'm Billy Mays for
Bill
sticky tape.
Wills is
On in
ShamWow.
the morning.
Morning
On
show at
WTAM.
WTAM 1100.
Oh.
Wills and Snyder.
Works down the hall.
So not the ShamWow guy.
Doy. No, that's Vince from ShamWow.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, you throw it away. Vince, one of my favorite people. He got a hooker, punched him in the face. And
One of my friends has a great story about hooking up with him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
guy or girl?
Girl.
Lady.
All right. A lady. Not if she hooked up with Vince.
Absolutely, she's a lady, Alan.
All right. Okay, I got a break. If you want to get the last word in, send me a text 351